Hello, everyone. So this is our group, Piaget's Penguins. We're presenting our project. It's about creating a more flexible classroom for students. So just some of the goals that we've got going on. We want to foster connections among peers. We want to create a more flexible learning environment that incorporates online aspects, and we want to encourage communication between students and teachers. So a little bit of background, the school that we're working with is Westview High School in San Diego. It's got a pretty large student body of over 2,000 students. A lot of these students are college bound. In 2011, 94% of them attended college. It's ranked fourth in San Diego and number two in their district. And they offer a lot of services like peer counseling, conflict mediation, community service coordination, and they even have a hate and harassment reporting tool on their homepage. So this school, already has a lot of resources available for its students. And just some information that we gathered from our peer interviews was that adolescents really were wanting to get that connection that they usually get from school. They also really like the online flexibility. So this is what we did to kind of serve them.
So one of the things that we did and planned out was a Google Classroom. So all assignments would be posted and turned in on Google Classroom, which would help obviously the teacher as well as the students. So as you see here, we had like a mock little template with a couple units listed, assignments, and a check-in form that we'll get into later. So this not only helps the obviously the teacher, but also helps the students stay organized, stay on top of their work. And the benefits of Google Classroom, obviously you can sync it to a Google Calendar as well. So students have everything that they need to do it in advance with the due dates, deadlines posted as well. So this keeps everything organized and put together. And I feel like there's like an easy way to as well in Google Classroom to message the instructor if they have any questions or anything like that. So yeah, it just creates that structure and balance for them. So with this said, we're also going to talk about the check-in form that if y'all briefly saw before was listed in the Google Classroom like template that we had. So the point of this check-in form was really just to really just check in on students and see how they're doing, but specifically for students who can't attend class physically, they would be able to still complete assignments and then attend class via Zoom. And by attending class via Zoom, they would have a check-in form available via the Google Classroom. So where those students would be able to explain why they're absent, just give like a brief little reason. And also the last question, as y'all see, says, how are you doing? Just so the teacher knows like how is the student genuinely doing, if they feel like they have the capacity to share that with the teacher. And also just by having that question, it opens up like a little zone for the student to feel more comfortable sharing with the teacher what's going on for them, and just kind of to let them know so they stay informed. They probably can feel more comfortable with, yeah, just letting the teacher know how they're doing and everything.
So the next part in our class change implementation is guided notes. And so we have this to lessen the burden um, on students who are physically present in the classroom. And so we have this guided notes template for each lesson, which will make sure that students have all the necessary information from class while attending virtually. And so this will also help students in class focus more on the lesson. And so they're not worried about taking notes word for word in class. And also if students have to miss class completely, whether in person or virtually, they will be able to collaborate with their peers easier just by getting the words missing in the fill-in blanks instead of having to worry about getting word for word. Um, and so we also have attendance policy change, which is where teachers are able to set a limit of how many classes they are able to attend, and they will be able to take into account extenuating circumstances of students. So if the student needs to miss class for like family emergencies or sickness, based on what they tell their teacher. And here we also have a set limit on a number of virtual classes students are able to attend as a way to encourage them to come to class physically, which helps improve their understanding of the material. So with this, we don't want kids to take advantage of the virtual flexibility accommodation, but we wanted to have a way to monitor their attendance in class.
So another factor that we have implemented in this program is a peer cohort group. In this, our idea was that students would be able to select a partner, preferably someone that they know, but just any partner that will help them form a larger group known as their peer cohort. That'll just kind of help everyone with their homework, catching up on any missed assignments. So if they like attend class virtually, they have some people who are in class physically in case they like miss anything or need a clarification on any assignments. And also the peer cohorts can discuss material and help reinforce what the others have learned in class. We also have introduced the idea of a redemption period at the end of the semester, which will allow students to turn in any assignments that they've missed during the semester. With this, we have added just like a little ruling that teachers can set a limit on the amount of assignments students are able to turn in, just to make sure that teachers aren't overburdened by the amount of assignments students would be turning in, and to make sure students are saving all these assignments until the last minute and then have just trying to catch up on a semester's load of work within a couple of weeks. And we've also kind of implemented this change in a syllabus template that's uploaded in our Google Classroom and is also linked in this presentation. So finally, we've kind of implemented these changes as a way to help foster a sense of community and help students feel that their mental health is being taken seriously. As Marissa stated earlier, from our interviews, we felt that students really liked the online flexibility that came with virtual classes. So we still wanted to give them that option. And with the social isolation that came with the pandemic, we wanted to also give students the ability to connect with their peers through the peer cohort groups. So yeah, that's our idea for a more flexible classroom.